very quick review about the Indian wind conditions and what are the tools available to use ourselves for our routine life, means our professional life. So that are the things we covered today. It's again very key where everyone who are in wind industry they always talk about power course. So many wondered what it is in it and how we can use it, how it is influencing any particular department. Everything is there. So today it is again one of the core area for me when I was working. This is the main part of for me from day one to still I was working in the industry. So I'm happy today. I'm sharing something very much very close to me because this is one of the important factor contributing to the sustainable development. I feel myself personally. So we will see the turbine which I placed here. It is Enacan E160 EPS model. It's really very good to see. Future I will try to introduce something more about the turbine model comparisons, how it is, all those things we can do. All are in plan. We can start such detailed studies also. So people who newly joined, every week we are conducting the knowledge sharing session. Um, this week we are planning to learn more about the power curves, which is playing very important role in our um, wind industry. I welcome you again for the Resource Development Research Center. The main aim of starting this initiative is to share the knowledge and enable the people for the sustainable development of individuals and to the society. That is the main aim. I contribute this session for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is again ultimately influencing everyone's life in many way. So this session again contributed to the Sustainable Development Goals. People new to this, if they want to know more about it, they can surely get in touch with me and get more information about it. I will share the informations which you are interested. Okay, let us get into the core session. So before start, I have few requests to all the participants. You can just raise your hands whenever you have the questions. Apart from that, we will have the question session, Q&A session time at the end of the presentation also. So meantime, in between, if you have any specific question in a particular slide, you can also ask, because if it is not understandable, proceeding further is not going to add any particular value. But you can hold the question also for the end. Both the way it will work. Okay, thank you for again joining this session. So power curves, today we will see very little basic about how the power related things are working in wind industry. And second important thing, we will see what is the basic terminology roaming here and there in the wind industry about the power curve, and why we need it, and what are the relevant standards available for power curves related thing, and how it is used in performance analysis. So I took almost some 5 to 10 cases just for example. More cases are available in terms of performance analysis using power curves and performance management. And then you can have the we can have the questions and ideas answer sharing. Then I will share where I got these informations. It will be helpful to you. So this is the plan today. Now this image is very interesting image. Many of you seen somewhere in the any of your wind energy related books or anywhere. So basically, I request you to keep this idea in mind. Our turbine is here, and I consider that the wind direction is V1 is from here. So the wind direction is called the kinetic energy. We have just to have the basic idea, the kinetic energy in the wind speed, which is when it is reaching the wind turbine blades, and it is rotational energy as a mechanical energy. Then by using generator, we are converting into the electrical energy, which is again used by us for the various purposes. But what happened to wind? Behind the turbine, the wind speed is changing and the kinetic energy in the wind also changing, and it it takes some distance to recover its original kinetic energy. So this is a basic idea. You keep it in mind because it's going to help some more things. Why I started with this before going to introduce the power curve? There is a reason. We will understand that. So whatever we see now, the potential available to harvest, the P half equal to rho AV cube. Here the rho is standard air density available for us in the site or the place or for the calculation. A is the swept area of the wind turbine, which is swept area is covered by the blade profile. That is the swept area. V is the wind speed in meter per second. This is the potential available to harvest. Means how much potential available in the wind for us to utilize. But we have some limitation because the technically convertible potential by the WTG. There is a limitation, there is a challenge, which is defined by the power coefficient, which is nothing but power converted by a turbine / power available in the wind. There is a coefficient. This coefficient defined by the one of the very important law, Betts law. When you get time, please Google it and read it. There is a explanation how it is derived and everything is available. Just read it. So you will get the as per that particular law, we can maximum convert from the kinetic energy to mechanical energy, maximum of 59%. Then after mechanical energy too, we are going to convert into electrical energy. So this is as per the Betts. We explained this is the limitation for converting kinetic energy into mechanical energy in terms of wind turbine, especially for wind turbine models. So this is basic idea, keep it in mind. So using this only we are going to produce the power. Why I am speaking all about this? Ultimately wind is available. Now by using our turbine we are going to convert or generate the power. So produce the power. Then we should know the relation between these two and what are the other factors influencing the final output of power, which is we are more interested. So if we give such idea, then I am just like to share some more very important terminology you might come across. When we talk about power curve, people say about DPC, CPC, MPC, EPC, SSPC, NPC, all these terminology. Few I am listed, almost most of the things I listed here, used in the industry when we are talking about the power curve. Now just we will understand what is each terminology about and where it is used mostly. Then we will have the idea, okay, so what we are actually hearing from any particular person or particular department, what it is exactly. So let us move to the understanding process. DPC is nothing but a designed power curve, okay, and we will be seeing how it is. CPC, certified power curve. MPC is measured power curve. EPC is extrapolated power curve. MPC and EPC is same, and they have this name because of particular one activity we are doing with the measured power curve. SSPC and then NPC, National Anemometer based power curve. SSPC site specific power curve. So all this terminology and how it is we will be learning now. A design power curve, it is a technical power curve of any wind turbine simulated based on the turbine design, which is done as per the IECRE and are fulfilling the national and international technical requirements for wind turbine design. So based on the design condition, our designing team, they are also coming up with the power curve. This is a design power curve. It is not actually available, but based on the data available, they simulate this and they are designing the optimum power curve for the design. For a certified power curve, with this actual turbine ready, we seen many things about the certification process previous sessions. So before going for the serial production, we are going for the certification process. In that process, the measurement is done by the certification body, and they are validating for the given wind speed how much a turbine is capable to convert and it is producing. Almost it should satisfy our design requirements. Whatever we are giving as a design to the certifying body, it should meet. Otherwise we cannot get the certification also. So certified power curve is the power curve actually done at the ground by the certifying body in collaboration with manufacturer as per the IEC standards and other technical or national or international technical requirements. It's done. Then each manufacturer have the certified power curve per turbine model. Each turbine model they have the certified power curve. In olden days, not olden days, some years before, mostly you might see in their every website you can find the certified power curve. But now if you go and check, mostly they are not presenting it, and they are presenting it AEP, means annual energy production. We will be seeing a few examples from Vestas itself. For MPC, it's a measured power curve. Normally, it is for while we are doing certification process, we are doing the measurement as per the standard, and the measured data, it is like 10 minutes average data. They are corrected and normalized to the net power output for the each wind speed measured at 10 minutes average with a separate meteorological mast, and then using this data and the well-defined measurement procedure as per the 12-1, they are deriving the table and graph. These two are presented. We will be seeing how it looks and everything. So these power curves are called measured power curves. But what happened? Sometime when we are doing this kind of testing, we might not get relevant or record wind speed, so we are not able to get the maximum power curve until the cutout wind speed. This might be happen for some of the measurement combined. In that case, we are going for the extrapolated power curve. So it is extended power curve from the estimating power output from the maximum measured wind speed already available till cutout wind speed. This is extrapolated power curve, which is normally done during the IEC measurement process. It is again the certification process. So, but we name it as a measured power curve during that time. Once it is certified, it is become certified power curve. Technically, that is what it is exactly. And then coming to the site specific power curve. Whenever we are doing the measurement and all, again we are keeping all the calculations, power curve details, everything is normalized to the standard air density 1.225 kg by meter cube. But to get the actual annual energy production at any particular site, we need to correct or normalize to the site specific air density. During this process, we will convert our measured power curve or certified power curve to the site specific power curve. So based on this, we are getting the site specific power curve. And now the Nacelle anemometer based power curve, normally we are using the SCADA data, whatever available in our turbine from the Nacelle anemometer wind speed. We are developing we are plotting the power curve based on the Nacelle anemometer and the power produced by the turbine. So based on this, whatever we are getting, it is a Nacelle power curve. Earlier we were doing this as a internal check, but now the standard also available for the Nacelle power curve and power curve as per IEC. Now it is available 12-2. You can check it out, which we were discussed earlier. We can check that power curve also. So it's one of the important information useful for all of us. Now moving to the basic of power curve. Power curve is very simple. You can define it's a plot between the free flow wind versus active power. This means you can keep the wind speed, free flow wind speed at your x-axis and active power produced by the turbine in your y-axis. When you are plotting this, you are getting the power curve. That's it. Very simple. So few terminology we will understand from here. One is cut-in wind speed. It's very simple. The wind speed at which turbine start its production. So that is the wind speed. We call it as a cut-in wind speed. And we will be seeing the example how the companies approachers and they are sharing all this information. Then you will directly can correlate how much these informations are useful to us. And second important point is a rated output power. So rated output power is nothing but the wind speed at which a turbine reach its rated capacity. So that's a rated output power. And then there is one more factor available, cutout wind speed. The wind speed at which turbine, the maximum wind speed at which turbine starts its operation to for the reason of safety and the design limit. So to safeguard turbine turbine as well as the ensure the safety of the operation in the individuals who is working and for the lifetime of the turbine everything. This is a designed decision. We are stopping at cutout wind speed. This is a maximum wind speed a turbine can operate without any safety issues. So these are the three important factors we can remember, which is very well defined the power curve. So I recall again, the power curve is very simple plot between the wind speed at x-axis and power in the y-axis. Power produced by the wind turbine. Wind speed normally it's a wind speed measured, free wind speed measured at the mast when we are doing the certification process or any other measurement to fulfill the customer requirement. All those time we are using the wind speed from the meteorological mass separately. But for when we are doing the internal assessment or the IEC new standard told us to, we are using nacelle anemometer, means anemometer available at the turbine, which we are also using for the ASIA wind speed. So many technologies are now available to measure the wind speed at the nacelle, but basically we are using the anemometer available at the turbine already. It's coming with the turbine itself, manufacturer from manufacturer. So these are the basic thing to remember and why we need it. As we said from the beginning of certification process and all, regulatory compliance is very very important. And another important thing is, if customer is going to invest money or any third party is investing and developer is need that, the warranty verification, one of the important factor we are giving is a power curve. Based on the power curve only, even today's if we are saying as a AIP, the first factor we will be checking is whether power curve is fulfilled, because without that we cannot calculate the annual energy production also. So the warranty verification is very important. Other than that, normally during the operational time, performance verification and to identify the underperformance, all this process, plotting the power curve is one of the basic preliminary activity and is also very important process for identifying the performance issues and to ensure the site specific performance also, because even we have the standard certified power curve. Based on the site conditions, the performance of the turbines also going to vary. So in order to ensure site specific performance, this is going to help us. Then the business, the whole business and investor relationship and OEM, it is one of the key driving force for testing or measurement or the validation. All the things are happening through the power curve verification only, to reduce the uncertainty in the performance or the project, everything. It is again one important thing. And performance optimization, by doing this activity we can also optimize the performance of the wind farm based on the different analysis and the inferences we are getting from the analysis. It is going to help us, because before the wind farm development, it is like all done at software. Once the wind farm is developed, then actual performance is coming from our turbines itself. So that is going to be a great input for us to optimize the performance of the turbine by doing some activities. Like 2 days before, Vestas also released one video about the blade extension, which can yield you another 15% more energy. So I need to see more details. Maybe that is very interesting. We will see how it is going to adapted for various turbine model and everything. They shared that videos. Okay, let us see that one. So the performance optimization, like by studying, understanding, and knowing the design limits and everything, that is one kind of solution. Like why I said now, that is one solution. By extending or increasing the blade length, they are planning to harvest more. But now we have to think how it will be possible in the existing turbine. There might be a solution, and they are now coming up with that solution to mark. We have to see how it is going to work out. Now the standards. So very clear, 61400-12-1. This is very very important for the power performance of the individual turbine. And 12-2 is for power performance of wind turbines based on the national anemometry. For 12-3, we have it is a wind farm power performance testing. Another standards also in progress. I was checking this. There is a numerical site calibration for power performance testing. All those things now IEC in progress. I was checking all those now. Other national international standards, like if you take for India case, we have our own requirement for fulfill for the all testing related things apart from IEC. So like that, every country has its one. And MESNET also one of the standard which is defining with all the testing and certifying body is part of it, and they are having their own way of doing all the testing and thing. Maybe we will have one more session on MESNET and what are the members are there, how they are, what kind of services they are providing and everything. Now coming to the performance. So now whatever we learn up to now, it is the basic about power curve and why we need it, what kind of standards are related to this power curve, all we seen, and which standard is useful for what kind of thing. Now we see the performance part, how we can use this power curve for the performance analysis and performance optimization purpose. Now this is like how the data available for us. Now I just show you a few things. Like this red line is red dotted is the maximum power 10 minutes average power available for the different 10 minutes average wind speed at hub height. Similarly, we have the mean value, and the blue one is for minimum value, and we have the standard deviation for the wind speed measured and the power. So these are the basic information should measured as per the IEC, and this is the data from the screenshot from the IEC itself. So this is the basic information available with us, and how we are going to use what data is saying about what, all those things we will be start seeing it. And next important thing is this is how we derive the measured wind power curve. Based on each wind speed, we will creating the wind for the each wind speed, and finally we will be getting the 10 minutes average based on the 10 minutes average data, and we will be making the bins, each bin with standard deviation or uncertainty involved in this. We will be plotting the measured power curve as a pinned power curve. This is what we normally we see outside. Mostly any organization won't present this particular area. That means the wind speeds outside. But this is how it's look like when you are measured, and from the measured power curve when you are creating the pinned power curve. Then from this pinned power curve and every thing is satisfied as per the IEC requirement, then they will provide the certified power curve for the every wind condition. Mostly it is based on again our design power curve, what we are submitted to the certifying body, it should met. Otherwise we need to redo things. Now I just take one example of actual turbine and the state. Normally if like Kudiyarasu is here, your SCADA also having some state, each data and on what condition it is. So those informations are available. Like for example, ICE also defined what are the states must be there, like start condition, ready condition, services setup, or standby, or startup condition, or error, or grid loss, any health check, initialization, low temperature, low pressure. So many states are defined by the there are minimum number of state should be there for turbine operation. Apart from that, every manufacturer have their own list of things to better optimize their turbine performance and things. So based on this, we can do so many analysis to understand from the power curve. The red line is showing the reference, and other 10 minutes data average is there, which is linked to different state of turbine. Means under what state turbine is operating and what kind of results we are getting. All this available here. So it's one of the very uh, beautiful information available in hand for every organization. And how much nowadays you can see there are a lot of tools also coming in, and you can do mass analysis of whole turbines and everything, and you can get very great inputs for the future development and optimization of the wind farms. Now again, I recall this particular point. Why I recall? Because this is one of the key factors going to influence the performance of the turbine. So just remember this, what we discussed in the beginning of the session. Now I just classified this. What are the factors? Few factors influencing, are most important factors influencing the performance of the turbine, like air density and wind speed, turbulence intensity, and wind shear, wind wear, temperatures, like insects and dust in the plates, and obstacles surrounded by this area. All external and environmental conditions going to influence the performance of the turbine. Internally, to fulfill the environmental and safety requirements, we also have some controls, and the design limits are there. Apart from that, due to the external requirement, we need to limit the power and operate at a different power level, or due to the internal components limitations, design limitations, everything going to influence our performance. So we will be seeing some more examples of each cases, and it's very direct informations. You can use it in your daily professional life, just to understand. I'm just taking the wind condition just to understand. Wind conditions are not same, at least in the complex terrains. It is going to vary within the 500 meter, 200 meter itself. How it is influencing, this is the turbine at the different locations, and how the changes are there. You can see the nacelle wind speed and power is plotted. You can see the changes in the each cases, which is like for per year it can give the uh, annual energy production in terms of total energy produced per year. It can go like from 1% variation to it go up to 15. Some cases I seen up to 40% variations also. So it's in the complex terrain, but for plain terrain it is not that case. It will be within the 5% change. um, Again, it is based on the how we have placed the turbine, micro setting is done, all those things. But it is changing, it's varying, and it is influencing based on the location. Only I'm just talking about the wind speed, wind conditions at that area, right? And then coming to the air density, again it is going to influence. For the standard, whenever we are going, the lesser the air density, and we will be producing less. This is the one few factor you can just remember, which you can use it. When low air density is there, we are going to produce the less. So we have to choose perfect turbine conditions or turbine model for based on the initial studies what we are doing for the site condition and everything. This is going to help us to um, decide. Yes, please. Could you?
Sir, regarding this air density,
Yes.
so most of the OEMs, are they measuring the air density on the continuous manner, or is there it's in a fixed
Yeah, right question. Very good. Actually, they are measuring they have the elevation. How it is calculated is very important. Elevation and temperature data is available. Okay, some are measuring the pressure to get the current situation. The two equations are there. Using that equation, they are calculating and they are storing the information for the calculation of air density, which is used for the further their operation controls and everything. Okay, but they have the internally standard power curves for the reference of operation, but the controls and everything, again they are taking continuously their data. Temperature data is available. Based on temperature elevation data, they are doing this calculation and they are correcting the making the control for the particular time. This is, it is a parallel activity. It is happening continuously.
Okay.
They are not keeping standard because
We are not actually getting the air density. We are deriving the air density from different parameters.
yeah, right. We are not directly getting. There is a equation. Two type of calculation. Simple thing what we are using: temperature and location. Location, elevation, height. These two are used, and then they are doing that calculations.
Right.
It's supposed to add all the equations and all because it will take long time. So I thought,
Yeah.
okay, only
No
using
problem.
how it is influencing. So
Right.
that is different topic together. It is
Yes.
each equation.
I thought of that. Is there any standard sensors are available for getting the air density kind of thing? So yes.
For now, almost as per my knowledge, I don't know. Maybe Palaji might have some more idea. As per now, if you see the data, we are collecting the information like temperature and all. And if you want, we have the elevation data of turbine and we can calculate the air density. Okay. But turbine is operating at the actual air density condition. But what is the control limit or the control guidance is given by the standard power curve what we have given to the turbine, and it will take the reference of temperature and it will make the control adjustment according to this. The standard power curve is there and we will be entering the location, height, elevation that is given. You might be knowing it. For the same turbine model, for the higher altitude, we will have the different variant. Okay. So even Games also, they are not giving same turbine model for the elevated. For example, elevations above 1500 meter, we have the different turbine model. We don't give the same turbine model to that location. Even the wind conditions are same because it is going to influence the air density in different way. So they will give the different model. So it is there. So data is available. Using that data, we are calculating. For example, our case, whatever the output we are getting the power, it is to the site's air density. But we want to know what is site air density. Then what we will do, we will take the temperature data available with our turbine and then elevation data available. Then we use that equation and derive the air density. If you want to correct that air density to the our standard air density, then we use that and we normalize to the standard air density. Then we compare with the site specific power curve. This is how we do it. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
So maybe when you get time, just go to Palaji desk and how they are.
Yeah.
You can ask it. So
Okay.
again, the turbulence intensity is another important factor going to influence very our power curve performance. But it is interesting phenomena at up to wind speed range of 9 meter per second. It has somewhat positive impact, and when it is going above, means after 10 meter per second, and if your turbulence intensity increasing in the range, means this red colors highest 15 and 0 is lowest. So you can see the inverse effect. This you can see it in the power curve itself. So like here they plotted for each different turbulence intensity, you can see the performance. For the highest, for after the greater wind speed, you can see the differences. This area, knee area, we call it as knee area. In this bending area, we might be losing a lot of energy. So this is one of the key factor. So when we are placing the turbine, we need to consider that location, how the turbulence in that area and everything. I remember in Theni, wind condition was earlier having more turbulence. We will be seeing how the spec sheet of any one turbine model from any of the manufacturer, which will explain us how it is considered. This is again defined in the IEC for which site, what is the turbine turbulence intensity, everything. Then wind shear is nothing but a change in the wind speed when we are going in the height. When we are increasing height, what will be the wind speed change? Again, this is going to influence. Nowadays, we rotor diameters are very big, so the wind speed at one tip, a wind speed at other tip is going to be differ. It is again going to influence your performance. So the wind shear, you can see it is when we have the more shear, we having performance influenced during these conditions also. Now move to the icing condition, not in our country but other countries. Like when we have more icing conditions, the ice free performance you can see. But when the starting stage of icing, you can have the performance change, especially after the 7 meter per second itself. You can find the ultimate differences. And light icing and moderate icing, you can have the very big changes in the performance. So this is one of the very important indication, which you can see here as a distributed data of 10 minute samples, scatter plots. Then blade pitch, something like internally, if you come into this, when we have some small mistakes may happen during the installation period or after the services, or some incident happen, so we adjust some activities, we done some activities in the turbine. That time, if the pitch angle change in the either in the software or somewhere it's happened, it is going to influence your performance for sure. And then coming to the wind direction, where you can see this data plotted based on each direction sector, north, northeast, every 45 degree they split the data and they taken the data from that side, means wind speed and power for that particular direction taken, consider for this plotting this focus. And you can see the wind direction, how it is influencing in the hub height, the power. So this again one of the important factor. And if you have any obstacles in that particular direction, also it is affected. Then drivetrain degradation, you can see this is one of the analysis, very old analysis, I found it in the net. Many turbines are considered for the different period, almost 2 4 okay, 2011, 8 9 10 11 12 13 14, okay, 7 years data they consider. For the 6th year, they are found almost 1% reduction in the performance. So it is done almost to a very huge number of turbines. I seen some across the Europe, around 250 sample data are taken and they done this analysis. This is the result, and they are planning to study more about to understand how the degradation of the drivetrain is influencing. Apart from this, every component with the design limits, it is going to influence the performance, which we can see at different conditions. Derating, like each component have its own temperature curve to operate. So when it is crossing that limit, some of the components directly going to influence or control the turbine's operation. So that time it is going to influence the power rating. So that is we called as a derating, means we forced to operate at the lower power level due to some internal safety or the performance issues happening in the turbine, or sometime it is like external also. The distribution part, means grid system also require less power. That time also we run it as a derating mode and we forget to reset to the actual mode. Such things also happen many time, I remember, for many sites. Maybe from EB they might request us to run at some level, so we might setting some few turbines to derated modes, means less power mode. Then they might be restored, means asked to export whatever available. But how some of us might forget to reset the things, then re-rating also happen. But basically, for the design limits, internally for the safety reasons, the turbines might be go into the derating mode also. That is one of the things. All the performance analysis using the power curve going to give us all these informations, so that we can take necessary corrective actions, or we can learn from this and do better designs the next time. Many things can be achieved using this analysis. So it's very important. A few more example, like suboptimal means it is not performing up to the mark. Different kind of power curves for the various situations it's happening. Like India also, you can see, like if you get chance, you visit to any of your colleague who is doing such analysis, see the wind west power at the low wind season, high wind season, how the power curves are there, and when the power means power curtailment is there, how we are operating. All those things you can check and found it. Since the tools are now more sophisticated tools are available, so it is easy to do it. Earlier days, I remember we used to do it with only Excels, so it's a huge work. Nowadays, it is like single click you can get thousands of turbine analysis, and you can have a very clear picture about the performance of even whole country wherever your turbines are operating. So all the informations I collected from various IEC website and National Institute of Wind Energy information, and Wikipedia, something from Google, many from certifying body and testing units online resources taken for this study. This is from my side. If you have any specific questions, which is we can discuss now from the power curve, and people who taking part now, I think we can connect through the various resources already available for LinkedIn and YouTube. We have the channel where we will be uploading this session after the completion of the session, and we have a WhatsApp number. You can connect to us, and we also initiated one important thing for a free open source software. Last week we launched, and we started with Audacity, the audio recording, editing, and processing software for free open source software. So like that, it is in progress. If you have any questions, please. Now we can ask, because I just plan to get ready for forthcoming month. Reason is I got a mail from WebEx. It is saying that they are from next month onwards they are planning to keep it to only 50 minutes per free session. So I try to complete within 50 minutes of time. So that is why it is planned like this. Okay, any questions, please? Are you hearing me? So it is Sujit, Prabhu. Any questions, please? Whatever possible, I will explain now itself.
For us, the information is clear.
Yeah. So you are working in SCADA, right? Kudiyaras?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yes. Then you can go through the data available, and many informations are available. If you have then the colleagues who are working in this performance related, then just collaborate with them, understand this, so that you can possibly provide the best data also for them for the future analysis, which is also possible.
Yes, sir.
I-
Probably we have, myself and Balaji, we already working.
yeah, very great.
Balaji. Yeah,
Super.
we'll associate
Yes,
Balaji.
yes. What else? I think he's doing some with the new tools. So it is like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's doing so many things like Power BI and
yeah.
in the especially in the analysis part.
Okay. So great, great. And I would like to suggest to the people, if possible, if you can do if it is automated, Palaji and team, if it is we have more facility which is helping us to do more analysis and it is means automated, just focus on the optimization and giving more means futuristic input for based on this performance analysis for the research RD research and development team, other people, which will be very much helpful. We were initiated when I was there using other tools available at that time. Maybe this time it is very advanced tool might be available, so you can start doing that contribution, which will be very much helpful. Yes, please, Sujit. Yes, please.
Hello,
Yeah, please.
sir. Can you explain one power curve?
Your volume is very low. Can you repeat it?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, he already put it, the question in the chat.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes.
one second. I'm not noticed. Sorry. Why it is not appearing? Okay. Can you explain one power core data set from any company turbine model? Oh, they will kill me. Okay. Anyway, I will go to the. They are not means they are not giving the data outside, but whatever data available is somebody done the analysis. It is available Google, which I used. Okay, I will go to the data. One power curve which is going to tell us more information so that it will be useful. Like we can take any power curve is okay for us. Sujit, it is one challenge because it is not open source, so we cannot get the data outside. But if companies are interested, they can give and for the study purpose. Now you see, like, okay, I just explained what available in the data set, like the wind speed, like wind speed minimum, maximum, average. These all data are 10 minutes average. Okay, wind speed minimum, maximum, average, and the standard deviation of the average for the particular 10 minutes. So this is wind, and again they have the power. These are the two important data for us is necessary. For power also we have, like as I shown you previously, like this is the actual measured data plotted at hub height. Okay, and the standard deviation of the power also available. So these are the data against each cases plotted. This is the minimum required for the plotting the power curve. Okay, this is very simple. Then this is like I can see it is some 1 megawatt turbine model, and we had another plot for 2 megawatt also. Many things are available, 2.5, everything available. But data set is not available to us, but the outcome of used data is available. I can explain to you. So again, similarly, we will measure the wind direction from the turbine itself. So this information available. Apart from this, the temperature of various component available. Apart from we will be having different temperature data mainly for each component or each important component or each main component. We have the temperature. All are like this only. They have the 10 minutes average, and then they might have the minimum, maximum, average, and standard deviation. This is available. And for external, we also have the temperature measured outside the nacelle. This information also used. So all the temperature data is available. Apart from, there is a state control and the pressure values, whatever the important parameter which need to be monitored for each component, the vibration, all those parameters are measured and 10 minutes samples are available. For power curve study, we are using 10 minutes minimum, maximum, average data and standard deviations. For similarly for the power, these are the minimum recommend for us to plot. Okay, and oh, very good. Data set of all, no, not data sheet. He is asking, oh, so this is thing. It is available, like Balaji shared to us. Okay, it is available, but all the case you cannot see the. I will be taking one from Vestas itself. Let me share. They won't share the power curve, but we can see the power curve from this particular website. It is visible to all. No, I don't think so. Thanks, Balaji. Okay, this website is, you can see here, it is available with you. This for 2B energy, 6 megawatt turbine. Pictures available, power ratings available, information, all other gearbox available, generators, towers, weight not available, miscellaneous, nothing available. So power curve, there is no power data available. But the ultimate aim of this particular site is they want to collect all the information. But few of them available. Earlier, as I said in the beginning of the session, earlier every organization, every thing, they have the information. But now it is not. They are giving other information. Like I will try to explain one from the Vestas 2 megawatt and 4 megawatt platform. What are the information they are sharing to the public? Let us see. But you can refer this site. A few of the turbine model we have the power curve. You can see it, but not all available. So you can check it out. Each turbine model you can you see from India they are not listed, but we have almost 42 turbine models available here. So we can check it out for country specific or turbine specific. You can check here. So like if I want at particular power rate turbine models, 2 megawatt, 1.52. Oh my god, it is very, very small. So you can see almost they have the 48 wind turbines and 117 manufacturer found. But if you go to each cases, very few they have the power core, and not all the people. Now, I guess Asiana might list out. Let us see 1.5 megawatt. Data set is there. So basically these are the information they are providing. What is the rated power of the turbine and cut-in wind speed, which we were seeing now, and rated wind speed, cut-out wind speed, then survival, all those information if not given here, and rotor diameter, swept area of which we study now, a number of blades, rotor speed maximum, tip speed, type, materials used, power density, what it is, related to gearbox some information, generator related information, tower guides, weights, miscellaneous available, power curves are not available. So this is the situation here. You can search here itself, you can find whether it is available or not. Now we will open one of the data from our 2 megawatt from the Vestas, where it is. Can you see that one? The now you can see the V110. Can you see V110 now? Yes? Okay. So like here you can see that earlier days I remember before this is the 2 megawatt platform from Vestas. Vestas website you can go and download this information is available readily. Here they are sharing all the information related to what variant they have and what is the IEC standard it is. All the information available, and earlier their experience in this particular platform and how many turbines are operating in this platform. So this all the information is available. And coming to the reliability and performance, they given what are the special technology available used in this particular model and everything available here, and this variants available. And for each cases, what is the wind speed range also you can notice here. Now we move to that particular section of information about turbine spec. You can see here what is the power regulation they are using in this particular model. Operating data like rated power, what it is, cut in wind speed, cut out wind speed, recut in wind speed. This is like after cutout, once the wind speed is reduced, at what wind speed it will restart. So this is recut in wind speed, and wind classes, what it is, and standard operating temperature. For this reason only we used to measure the temperature from outside of nacelle. That informations are used. But there is a, whether I don't know, I can say everything here. There is a correlation between the external measured temperature and the temperature inside measured. So based on this only, all the internal controls are happening. Okay, so that is very important. And then sound power means this one parameter about the noise, environmental requirement. Some countries are it is very must. If the dB generated by the operating turbine, then turbine need to be operate at low power so that noise is not generated more. And rotor related information. Then coming to the electrical frequency generator, so it's based on country what frequency it can operate, it is there. Gearbox, what kind of gearbox they are using, tower height, and what is the country and site specific what it is available. For nacelle dimension, you can see the data here. As I said, like hub dimension, plate dimension, everything is there. Earlier days, instead of annual energy production, they used to give the power curve. Now they are giving AEP. So how AEP calculated, and that is very simple term, you can say with all certified power curve plus our measured power curve, and if you have the distribution, wind distribution for 1 year, then they can do the annual energy production. Here what it is, if your annual average wind speed means, here you can see yearly average wind speed is 6 meter per second, then this site will generate around 5 gigawatt. That particular, if we use V90 2 megawatt class 2 or IEC class special class turbine model, then at 6 meter per second average wind speed, the turbine can generate up to 5 gigawatt. This is what the graph is going. For 9 point, if the wind farm average annual average wind speed is 9.5, it can generate up to 10 gigawatt per year. So this information they are giving now. Earlier they used to present the power curve of the 2 megawatt turbine. Even you can see they directly plot it here. Means in the beginning itself the power curve used to be there. Now maybe due to the changes in the requirement of the customers and requirement of the industry, things are changed. This is another variant for class 3A. And what is the values? V110 2 megawatt, this is the value. You can get above 6.6 gigawatt for 6 meter per second. So like that they are keeping all the informations. Now it is like most into production, but when it is coming for proving this value, like if the organization is saying if your site wind condition is 6 meter per second annually, then we will be able to give you this particular energy when you are buying V110 2 megawatt under all good operation condition. If they are saying like that, then to prove it, we need to have the measured power curve from that site. Without that, we cannot do. So power curve is again going to play important role. Power curve, then wind distribution from that particular site. With that, we will be doing these calculations and we are getting this figure. So I hope this information might help you. And it is available for similarly 4 megawatt also available. Just I kept that information to show you only 4 megawatt. Yes. Now you can see 4 megawatt. It is for how we will analyze the WC from power core, like when we call seen underperformance. So, oh, Sujit, the underperformance, how we analyze is like, I think we explained everything. Maybe I don't know whether you are from the beginning or in between you join. If you are from the beginning, we learn what are the parameters influence power core in what way. So when we are doing power core plotting, and we will understand what is the parameter influencing the performance of the turbine. I just go to one example and tell you how it is. Like, just for example, if I am having the power core from one particular site, and I am plotting the power core and making the wind power core, I found that, like, if you assume this is the topper one is my reference power core, like sites standard power core available with me, but I am deriving this measured power curve or the nozzle anemometer power curve from the wind farm in one particular turbine or two turbines. I found that there is a difference or the variation from this particular thing. So then what I can do, I can go and check whether I have the elevation settings rightly set for this particular turbine. My temperature data are coming properly to this particular turbine. Okay. So this is how we do each study. Okay, if the temperature data is not coming properly, or if I am not given elevation data properly, then that particular turbine going to do internally wrong calculation about the air density. So if it is doing wrong calculation about air density, then it is going to operate according to that. So finally, I am going to get the wrong output or the underperformance. Okay, not audible. Why? What happened? Now it is audible.
Yes, it is audible.
Yeah.
I think Balaji only has some.
Okay. Okay. So, Sujit, you got Suraj. I am sorry, Suraj. You got the idea. For example, this is air density related underperformance. I am saying, if we made some air density calculation has some formula internally. For that, it need two information. One is elevation. Another thing is the elevation of the turbine location, and another information is the temperature from what currently turbine is measuring from the environment. So if these two information is not given properly, then our turbine is going to perform something low. So if the low performance is coming, but other turbine is doing good, for example, if we have the 10 turbines, out of that 2 turbines are performing like this, then we can find it. The root causes might be air density data are not given, or elevation data is not given properly. So that is going to influence your performance. This is one example I'm just saying. So like that, we seen many parameter, like you see this many parameter and how it is influencing each case that we studied now. Okay, now we know it. During the performance analysis, we go to see how or what is the root cause for this particular condition. We go to check and do. For example, another one example I am explaining, try to explain to you. For example, power limitation. So let us see the power limitation. Like I am plotting two power core, one turbine is limited to 1220. Okay, it is not reaching anything above this. As I said, there might be many reasons, like the from the EB or electricity board, they told, okay, this wind farm cannot export more than this many megawatt. So at that time, we have the wind turbine, more number of wind turbines, we are generating more wind. We might be keeping all the turbines at the some limited power, okay, operating at limited power, so that ultimate allowable range of megawatt is exported from this particular wind farm, X wind farm. But after some time, the EB is lifted that constraint. Okay, now you can export whatever you are producing. During this time, if by any chance we forgot to reset this value, this new maximum power value for the turbines, then turbines are going to operate in this level for the rest of the period. So during the analysis, if we found that, we can inform to the service or O&M team at the site, okay, this turbine is under limitation. Could you check and what is the root cause for this? Maybe the last month or few days before we were keeping this power limited. So can you adjust that or change it? Something like that we can ask. This is one thing. It's a recommend from the EB. We done this underperformance identified and solved. Can we take another case? Another case like for example, so internally we have the main component. Because of high wind season, it start producing more energy. Particular component is getting heated, if you assume, and it is going beyond the allowable range of that particular component design limit. Then it is automatically going to give the signal to the turbine to operate at the lower speed till lower power rating till that temperature is getting cooled and reach the normal temperature level. This time also it is going to operate at the limitations. So these are the some few examples, 3 examples I have given to you how we are doing the analysis. So whatever we learn is the different cases, how it is influenced the power curve, and each cases is unique. Each cases you can study and understand. There might be n number of reasons. I listed few reasons here. Okay, what are the factor, and these are the few lists here, and we seen the example for each cases. Okay, so I hope I explained you. You got the idea about how we do this. Clear, Suraj? Oh.
I got it.
Okay, thank you. So what we got is like a basic or the core idea of what are the parameters influence in what way wind speed and the power. So if we have this knowledge very much clear, then using this knowledge, whenever you are doing any particular turbine analysis, when you found some deviations, then you can see, okay, this might be the root cause. Turbulence intensity is there, then like you know already it is going to influence this way, right? So if you can see the turbulence intensity of that particular turbine, and then you can see, okay, it is influencing more. Then we can see the site visit and see what is the terrain condition in this area, so how it is creating the turbulence in that area. Then we can see, okay, this is because of this reason this particular turbine is getting low performance, underperformance, or expected performance, actually speaking. Because of terrain conditions or something that local turbulence is high, then it is going to perform like this only. We can't do anything on this. Either we go to relocate. I have many experiences as situation. We visit the site and see and what is the situation, and many such observations also there. So thank you. It's a good question. Both of you, very nice. Hope this session is useful to all of you, and for all your support, thank you very much. And within 1 or 2 days, I will be releasing next month plan for the main next month schedule for sessions. Mostly I will try to capture some of the special things next month, because we took 100% wind energy related in this this month whole, and previous month also. We try to mix the more ideas so that it will be contributing to the sustainable development. Thank you once again for all your support. If you like to give any feedback, just share your feedback. Then we can close the session. 1 or 2 minutes, you can share your feedback. If anything we need to add, or future session you are expecting something like, or how was this session? Anything you can share.
This one is really nice. Maybe and as me, it is very crisp, and maybe the essence of what exactly need that is really it is transformed. Probably so. I'm not a very old guy in this because I've been new for this.
Okay,
I've been working with this in the industry for last 3 years, only, last 3 4. So that's why I'm more interested in learning the key things.
great.
Really, really
Okay, I think now your voice is breaking for us. Thank you for all of you for sharing your views. Um, so many people are joining continuously for every week. That is good for us, and I put my effort to make this reachable to more people. I'm creating every week videos for what we are discussing. This month we will be creating what is this month plan, so that you can share to more people who are interested in that particular session. They can join. Um, that is the idea for future month. If you have any specific recommend on any particular topic, you can also feel free to post that. We can include in the future.
that video editing the recording is available, sir.
Video editing, actually, we forgot to done. I don't remember we done the recording or not, but we started. Maybe we arrange one more session in the next coming month. Okay,
Yeah.
so that day we will record, and
Yeah.
we will keep
Or
it available.
if you have a presentation also.
No, that is not presented. It is like
Yeah.
live session. With the
Nice.
software we do it. With software we do it live. So we don't have any special presentation. Maybe I will try to make one so that it
Yeah.
is available.
I'm interested on that because I thought of creating
Okay.
or um, explaining concepts. But
Okay, that is good. Very important. That is the main reason we are sharing, because it is important for many people. So surely, maybe I will try to make this session Sunday also. Maybe it
okay.
will be useful for many of you. Let me think and schedule it which week it will be suitable for us. But surely we will have one session on Sunday. One more information to all. Just we started meditation sessions on Thursday and Saturday evening, 6:30 p.m. For the all working professionals, they are joining. So if interested, you can join. It is in Tamil for now, but most of things we can explain in English also. It is like practicing as well as some knowledge sharing about the meditation session. It is um, Vipassana as well as Anapanasati. Two techniques are shared. So we are practicing now Anapanasati. Maybe very soon we will be adding Vipassana also. So people interested can join. Or you message me, I will send the link to you. That is scheduled. You can, people interested can join. Thank you very much. And I personally thank everyone again. Um, let us contribute to the sustainable development and not leave anyone behind. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.